Quiet, please. In exactly 15 seconds, we'll be on the air.
We need emotional content. I said emotional content, not anger. That's it. How did it feel to you? Let me think. Don't think. Feel.
And so, we're on the air. Let's see how the broadcast gets from the studio to your home. Of course, you don't hear the real sound over your home radio. What you hear is a translation of the sound. We want to make this wave stronger, so we amplify it.
It is like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory. Do you understand? Never take your eyes off your opponent, even when you bow.
Yo, what's up, my ninjas? It's C-Win coming at you with the Win Clan Ninjas podcast. And today I have to take a trip to Venus. I'm linking up with my dude, Danny Bedrosian from Parliament Funkadelic to do this interview. And I'm in the house right now with everybody's favorite pirates, Captain Flint and CJ. What's up, y'all?
What up? Avast, friends and folk.
Yeah. So real quick, I got to pack, and Jay Wynn, he's down at he's been down at these offices for about a week now. He's still trying to get his space passport together. It's a difficult process. You know, he's from Indiana, so they give them a particular difficulty. But just real quick, I got a chance to check out the Venom movie. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. You're probably going to be a dick and not like it anyway because Spider-Man's not in it. What else is going on? Oh yeah, Kanye went and visited Trump, which we'll probably do a second episode. Maybe an episode 6.5 entirely about that. But for now, I got to go take care of some things before I get ready to head off to space. And I'm going to turn the wheel over to Capt and CJ. You guys think you can hold it down here while we're off in space?
Oh, man, look, don't worry about it. We got this. If there's anything we're good at, it's making it up as we go.
Yeah. I trust your judgment. I find it hard not to trust a man who's defeated a Kraken with nothing but a spoon and...
First of all, it was a spork.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another time. Now, I do believe you have a ship to catch, and I, being a man that doesn't like missing ships, we need to get you on the way to the cosmos. To your horizon, Mr. Wynn.
All right, guys. Y'all hold it down. All right. I'll be back. Oh, in the meantime, while we're transitioning, passing off the torch, we'll go ahead and kick it to Groove Sensei. Go ahead and play something funky for us real quick.
I would like to introduce...
It's a smash hit. Baby.
Hey, what's happening, my ninjas? It's Groove Sensei, broadcasting live from Radio WIND. Now, I've heard of pirate radio, but pirates on the radio? Oh man, what a universe. Alright, so we got some heat for you today. Since C-Wind is out traveling the cosmos today, I think we'll play a little something featuring him. We've got Nazarito featuring C-Wind and Redwind with Assassin Mode.
I got approached by some old whack ass who almost made me film an episode of Jackass. In other words, almost had to bam on this wee man. R.I.P. Ryan, but I'm done. This Win Clan. Man, you rappers sound like women in your interviews. If you really women, it's cool. But if you men who won't admit you got a clitoris, ooh, I gotta finish you. Learn some manners, go to finishing school. With lyrics, man, this kid is a fool. I keep it flipping like gymnasts at Olympics. I'm high as Mount Olympus and fly as Nimbus. That's a Dragon Ball reference. I just might reference my balls when talking reckless. I just might devour you all at tomorrow's breakfast. With a side of OJ. Bad reference, okay, but don't end up in the crevice nobody can locate. Kiss my prostate and make sure you use Colgate.
The ninja, the Viking, the Bedouin code. Within you cause of honor anywhere in this globe. This wood, the axle, we all explode. Better run for cover, it's assassin mode. The ninja, the Viking, the Bedouin code. We'll kill you cause of honor anywhere in this globe. This wood, the axle, we all explode. Better run for cover, it's assassin mode. بدور على مشاكل بضلني عاكن بسيبني من الجعانين شايف طيروا ماكن بسيبني من السافل الفالت والقاتل بفكروا حالا جانجستر بايعين فلافل انا ابو ماهر مثل القدس انا شريف والمنايك صوتهم عالي على الرصيف انا ابو لميس وبعدني عريس I'm swagging Jerusalem down the Middle East peace sluta spela kulen jävla gris شافك ماخذ موقف زي جدول الأوتوبيس جرب في حياتك لأنك طالع زي الريحة مغرور على الفاضي سمعتك فضيحة يا خسارة عليك من مليحة للقبيحة كلك على عيب زي عزومة على سفيحة عامل ايه وشمن احكي لك مبروك man you looking like a punk so you can sug I mean cook the ninja the Viking the Bedouin code within you cause of honor anywhere in this globe this wood the axle we all explode better run for cover it's assassin mode the ninja the Viking the Bedouin code will kill you cause of honor anywhere in this globe this wood the axle we all explode better run for cover it's assassin mode.
Shit mannen som det går, flow sick, allt består oavsett åren går, fetast vibb där jag står. Hon känner min energi, riktigt sällsynt. Du blir helt lugn, jag ser dig hosta inne i. Det bultar i din kropp, halsen vill jag äta upp. Du kommer vilja göra allt när vi börjar spela boll. Du kastar helt frisk, det kan aldrig bli en miss. Ready fucking hard, ja, pickadollan säger sitt. Sån assassin mode, målar upp en egen show. Sån Uma Thurman style, blodet skvätter överallt. Spritsar in, det smakar salt, de tycker jag är ball. Groovy som Harland, backar upp iskall. Smooth som en vipa, hooked på min pipa. Som jag flowar helt sick, mannen fy fan. Var det sitter fett, ready kickar allt blir rätt. Stänker dit en body rich style med en fläskläpp.
The ninja, the Viking, the Bedouin code within you cause of honor anywhere in this globe. This wood, the axle, we all explode. Better run for cover, it's assassin mode. The ninja, the Viking, the Bedouin code will kill you cause of honor anywhere in this globe. This wood, the axle, we all explode. Better run for cover, it's assassin mode. The ninja, the Viking, the Bedouin code will kill you cause of honor anywhere in this globe. This wood, the axle, we all explode. Better run for cover, it's assassin mode. The ninja, the Viking, the Bedouin code will kill you cause of honor anywhere in this globe. This wood, the axle, we all explode. Better run for cover, it's assassin mode. It's assassin mode. It's assassin mode. It's assassin mode. It's assassin mode.
Shut up, man. This ain't about boxes, alright? I got a question for you, though, man.
Okay.
You see these motherfucking bills? Bruh. What's your plan, man?
Oh, plan. With my one job that I make $9 at.
Whoa.
Part-time.
Whoa, silence, bitching millennial. You're gonna take these gas money fucking wages and figure out a fucking plan with them.
Like what? Go get another job that they won't give me because I have obligations already?
Wait. So, hold on. All right. Let me get this right. You mean to tell me, in order for us to keep the fucking, this tub afloat, right? You're like, fuck it. I'll get another job. Yeah. It's a great idea.
Fuck it, Chad.
Yeah.
Work 20 hours a week, fuck.
Right, yeah. Because your current job, yeah?
Don't pay me enough, buddy.
Won't give you enough hours to make the money, eh?
Not even that. Just they won't pay me enough. Oh. Like if they gave me like $2 more per hour,
but like,
I'd be sitting all right.
But what if they just gave you like 2 more days of work, right? Like, but no, fuck that, because they don't even want to do that. So, you mean to fix this by getting another job?
Yeah, fuck that. Especially a cash one. What do you mean? 2 bi-weekly pay. I don't have to buy groceries once every 2 weeks. What the fuck do you mean? I don't have to buy gas once every 2. Fuck you mean? You gonna pay me every other week?
Man, bills sure as fuck ain't bi-weekly though.
Thank God. What do you mean?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying.
I wish they wanted their money once every 2 months.
No, I'm saying, no, fuck that. Bills hit all throughout the month. Let's be real here. There's no such thing as bills only hitting one time a fucking month. It's bullshit. Bills drop all throughout the month.
Damn, the 80s were good, weren't they?
I don't fucking remember those. But I do remember this. I do remember a time where, oh, look at that. I've woken up. And it's not a big deal because I can afford shit. Ah, that's fantastic. Oh, isn't that a good feeling? Damn, look, I'm not worried about anything because I'm making enough money to survive. Isn't that wonderful?
Where?
Isn't that great?
In what house?
You know the last time I did that?
High school?
Well, no, not even then, actually. I was gonna say the army, but no, fuck that. But anyway, you and your predicament and this whole thing. So you say, fuck it, I'm gonna get another job. And these bitches tell you, nay.
Cause I got prior obligations. Okay, but if I was in school, you would work around a class schedule.
Bitch, how dare you try to survive in this fucking in this economical climate? How dare you?
I would just like to be able to afford groceries.
Bitch, how dare you eat food? That's a privilege. Back in my day, we grazed on the Lord's grass and we were grateful.
Help.
Y'all kids don't know how good y'all got it.
Help.
Don't even say you need an adult. I'm just saying, like that's how they hit you with
Fuck,
it.
I am an adult.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're in this fucking mess.
I want to go back.
Yeah, well, we haven't perfected time travel just yet. So, unfortunately for you and me, we're all stuck here.
So you ever have just a preventable moment, but you didn't know it was going to go as far left as it did? So I go out one night. My roommate offers to go out with me. And this could have all been prevented by me going, yeah, sure, you can go with me if you want to. But I went, nah, he doesn't like to go out. He can stay inside. I'm going to walk there. I'm going to walk back. I'm going to be fine. I always am. It's whatever. So amidst my walk, after being offered 4 rides, I walked on purpose, guys. Come on. Really? Are we still doing this? Oh, well. I walk by these 2 gentlemen. They look at me, I look at them. We give the hey, what's up, mutual respect nod, and I think that's the end of this exchange, which all could have been prevented by him walking with me. But hey. For whatever reason, the first guy goes, DuckTales, to which his friend responds, oh, woo. So niggas, why are we still doing this? I just
Why
need
we
to
doing what, CJ?
I need to know why this is still happening in 2018. I went out dancing the other night, and I was not dressed like a lady that didn't want to be bothered, according to niggas. Niggas always say, if you're not a whore, well, why you wearing a horse uniform? Whatever, believe what you want to. I wasn't dressed like I didn't want to be bothered, but I didn't want to be bothered. It's my body, my right to choose that. So...
It's only mixed signals if you're fucking stupid.
So I'm dancing, I'm not talking to anybody, I'm sitting in the back, I'm having a smoke, I'm having a drink, I'm talking to people I know, that's it. Why is this? I'm not sure if I'm quoting Bruce Willis or Charlie Sheen, but why is this pack of niggas literally hooting at me?
Oh no, they want 8-man, you with me.
Several of them tried to approach me individually.
A Donkey Konga line, you say?
And then at one point they were all, hey, Sade, baby girl with bunny ears. All that bullshit. But why though? And then sent the ugliest one to try to one-on-one me. The scrub of the group tried to 1v1 me. I just kind of laughed at him. And when you and your friends are funny. Now, for all you women claiming you're crazy, this, that, and the third, having all these weird, unclear situations with men, I laugh at them. I yell my safe word. Ain't nobody mistaken for when I don't want to be spoken to. If you're crazy, start barking at them. That's all I can tell you.
In short, friends, hippity-hoppity, hippity-hoppity. If you send your ugly, light-skinned friend over and his game be quite floppity, you will be lift, laughed, and then sent hip-hop-hoppity. Because you're not funny, buddy, and she's not a stupid little girl.
Alert, alert. We now interrupt this transmission to bring you a special report live from Venus.
All right, so what's up, my ninjas? This is C Wind. We are broadcasting live from Venus today. Had to meet my man's out here in space for this one. Got Danny Bedrosian from P-Funk on the line. What's up, Danny?
Yeah. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, Jay Wynn couldn't join us. He couldn't get his space passport in time.
Okay.
Yeah, so
you're getting that sometimes.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, it takes a couple light years to process sometimes, but
that's right.
You know, but yeah, man. So for the listeners out there who don't know who this man is, he's probably the most talented person we've had on the show, and probably I think you're the most famous so far, Danny. Congratulations, man. Yeah,
thank you very much.
That's pretty dope, right?
Thank you.
yeah. Danny is the keyboardist and vocalist for Parliament Funkadelic.
Yes.
Let's see, we got a long list of accolades here. You're CEO of Boss Funk Music. Oh, and that was not a mispronunciation. That's music. Yeah, that's damn right. You have a podcast, Danny on Everything. I had a chance to listen to some of it. You sound so much better than we do.
Oh, you're silly. It was something I wanted to do for a long time. I've always had so much fun doing podcasts with other people, like doing like this with you guys.
Uh-huh.
And I just wanted to be on the other side of it and see how that felt, you know. So it was kind of a cool experience for me.
Okay, so how long have you been doing your show?
Been doing it since December of last year. So
okay.
Almost a year now.
Okay, you haven't been canceled. That's a great thing about podcasts, right?
Yeah.
It's like unless you cancel yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the dope.
It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, man. So I think I'll like in post or whatever, I probably cut in some of the episode because you got that funky intro on there. They gotta hear that. Oh my god.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty dope, man. And so how all this came together in the first place, I our mutual friend Overton Lloyd, the famous artist who did the covers for Parliament Funkadelic. He's the mentor. He's the Yoda in the house, and so every now and again, Overton will call my phone up randomly, and I can't think of a time that those conversations have ever been under 3 hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you got a lot to say, so.
Yeah, a lot to say.
A lot to put out there,
And it's good stuff.
He's a brilliant artist and a dear friend of mine as well.
Yeah, it's good. It's always good stuff. And one of the things he brought up was that Danny with the awesome beard is working on a comic.
Yes, it's true.
What's going on with that?
So, I've been reading comics since I was, maybe 7 or 8 years old. I was always a big Marvel Comics fan. I got into Image when that came out, and then sometime in the 90s, I fell off of it, but kept trying to collect just issues that I needed, to fill in the gaps and the spaces of the books I was trying to get full collections of. And then after joining P-Funk and having, a little bit more income than I did when I was a kid, mowing lawns and babysitting and doing stuff like that to buy a $1 book, I started, getting back into my comic collection and getting back into the comic culture, as it were, to experience that it had gone so mainstream, you know what I mean? Not that I wasn't paying attention to it the whole time, but just the big change that had happened between the era of comic books just being comic books and selling a little bit better as comic books, and to comic books being everything. Comic books being toys and movies and games and video games and so much more to people now that they've got the cinematic universe and this, that, and the other. So I came back into it with this, oh God, what has happened to my comic book world? But I was pleasantly surprised to see that now there are budgets and money put into those type of things, and it's really exciting to see the movies and the things come to life. Books that you used to like when you were a little kid. When I was little, Fantastic Four was everything for me. So I used to read Fantastic Four comic books religiously, and then Uncanny X-Men as well. Those were the two that were those were the big books for me. But I read everything I could get my hands on. Independent stuff, other companies, all kinds of stuff. And over the years, I toyed with the idea of making a comic book. I'd worked with a couple artists, done comic strips. We had done, one-page layouts for albums that included comic art and things like that. But I'd never done a full book or even attempted to make the effort to do such a crazy thing. But I decided on a trip to Amsterdam about 4 or 5 years ago, I ran into an artist friend of mine, Robert Iman, who had done some work on some of my, not even album stuff, he had done promo stuff, promotional posters and comic strips and things. And he and I had toyed with the idea of doing a comic book, but it never came to fruition. And he met me in a restaurant in Amsterdam, and he had asked me, would you still be interested in doing a comic? Because we had toyed with the idea in the past and never got around to doing it, because there was a time in my life when I was just too busy to be able to be putting something of that magnitude together. I was putting albums out, but a comic book was a whole different matter altogether to me. But now I had been working on something that could have become a comic book, and it was and I wanted to bring it up to him. And it was basically a book that I've put together called Sons of the Sun, and it's sort of mythological tale about Armenian mythology. I'm Armenian by extraction, ethnicity, and I wanted to incorporate some of this amazing, really epic Armenian mythology. People always hear about Greek mythology, and they hear about Egyptian mythology and Norse mythology, but there's not really a lot of information unless you are Armenian, and even if you are, you have to be pretty into the culture to know a lot about the ancient traditions, because like most people, when they converted to whatever they converted to, they pretty much lost a lot of their pagan traditions. So I wanted to kind of introduce this. It exists still in Armenia today in folk songs and tales and in, things like that. But I wanted to make a comic book much in the same way that, Jack Kirby did a really great job of sort of transferring to comic book much of the ancient mythological traditions of, like, say, the Aztecs or the Norse or any of those things. I wanted to do that with the Armenian traditions because the Armenian culture is extremely old. It's one of the oldest countries in the world. It predates most of the civilizations that I just mentioned, in which their mythology is depicted several times in comic books. So I wanted it to be something that people could check out without any information about it beforehand. And so it is somewhat educational, but that's not really the main focus of it. It's really mostly for entertainment, and it deals with two different timelines in Armenian history. There's a timeline where there's a storyteller, or as we call in Armenian, an ashug. He's like a musician that tells stories, telling a story to a bunch of villagers and children. And then there's the story he tells, which takes place in 2492 BC. So there's 1754 AD and 2492 BC, and there's two totally different timelines. The storyteller living in one timeline, and then the story itself being set in the ancient timeline. And we have the first issue is completed.
Wow.
And we're working on the second issue now. It's probably going to end up being also a graphic novel as time goes on. But I worked with Robert Iman, like I said, who's a brilliant artist from Amsterdam. And I worked with a good friend of mine, John Deming, who's a very famous poet and writer and editor from New York City. He did the editing for me. I worked with a group of people that created a font for me for the lettering. Peaches Kasabian, she was the one who did that for me. And I did all the plots and the scripts and really the development. And I worked very closely with Robert over a period of several years. It's been about 6 years we've been working on this book. And in that time, I mean, we've just been trying to nail accuracy, depictions, different things, and going back to the drawing board over and over again to try to find the best way to sort of depict this story. And much in the same way that George Lucas did with his artists, his concept artists before they had done the movies. I do this a lot with my album artists as well. We really work for just a very, very long time on concepts and how things are going to look. And like, it could just be like one image, like what's this mountain going to look like? Or what's this horse going to look like? Or what's this battle going to look like? And all these different ways that we could depict it based on historical depictions and ways that we wanted to depict it. And of course, we take some liberties, some historical liberties. We combine a couple of characters, or make a couple characters relevant to one another that may have not been relevant in real history. But just to kind of, and I say this in the foreword at the beginning of the book, just to kind of give a bigger picture to the overall thing. It's the first issue, and so we want to sort of introduce this world to the readers, and it's extremely epic and fantastical. And I think it doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. I think if you like comics, you'll like this. If you're a fan of my work, you'll like this. If you like anything that has to do with mythology or epic storytelling, heroes and villains and monsters and giants, I think you'll like this book. So that's what it is, Sons of the Sun, and it's going to be coming out by the end of the year.
Oh man, that's awesome. I think a large part of the reason Overton wanted me to connect with you about the comic too is we gravitate toward the martial arts and the ninja mythology heavy, and have tried to had a couple little iterations in the past working with artist Will Torres from Marvel on some concepts for a comic a while back. And what we've always been interested in was when I was about 16, I had a martial arts instructor here in Georgia who basically introduced me to Professor Ronald Duncan, who is credited as the father of American Ninjutsu, and he's a black Panamanian man who came here in the mid 1900s, like during a turbulent time for people of color here, and he basically broke down a lot of barriers here in America. Like you get like your Stephen K. Hayes and guys like that who get a lot of credit for bringing ninjutsu to America, but then you don't hear those stories about guys like Professor Duncan, we've always. Now let me ask you this: now, does with your comic, does it does any of the P-Funk mythology spill over into it, or is it a totally separate thing? Like, how's that?
It's totally a separate thing, but the fact that I think that I've always gravitated towards stories that required half a lifetime to understand. So P-Funk is one of those good examples. It's a mythology and a canon that goes back 60 plus years.
Right.
And it's really unparalleled for popular music as we know it. There is no discography that's larger. And really very few times in musical history have there been more impetus on the idea of myth and storytelling and science fiction, like injected into the music, you know, in such a fused way. So that's a big thing that attracted me to P-Funk in the first place when I was a little kid, when I was 11 or 12 years old. And in the same way that Marvel Comics did, because the Marvel Comics universe was this giant universe that I was just, you know, blown away by. The same way I was about Star Wars and still am, you know, like these just giant universes that have a canon all their own, that you could just spend your whole life inside this one world and you would never be bored because you would never get all of what it is. You'd never be able to truly understand it all the way. There's something really priceless about that and something very interesting about that from the human perspective, I think, because you can just keep going and never get sick of it.
Yeah.
Much in the same way as this story, this Sons of the Sun, it goes back in time some 4,000 years, you know, to a time when we usually assume people to be much more primitive, and not to say that they weren't, but the amount of innovations that man had made by this point was really something to marvel at, and the overall mythos, the ethos of characters is so vast in Armenian mythology. There are monsters and spirits and demons and gods and giants and regular people that do amazing things. So there's a whole lot to it, and it spans, like I said, thousands of years. So it's just this great story that you can never get all the information from. And I was always attracted to things like that.
Wow. Man, that's gonna be so dope to check out because that's a total blind spot, I think, for a lot of people. Like, we don't realize there are cultures with entire histories, mythologies, characters and things you could source from that they probably hadn't even thought to look at, and then for you to tap into that and to tap into your heritage, that's beautiful, man. That's
oh, thank you.
Wow,
I appreciate that.
That's amazing. Yeah. So George is getting ready to retire from the road next year.
Yes,
is the word.
That's the story. Yeah. George's retirement is planned sometime around May. We're going to be playing pretty much through that point. But the plan as of now, from what I've been told, is that the band is going to keep on going. Funkadelic, P-Funk All-Stars is going to keep going. And George, of course, is not going to stop in both his leadership role, even if it is from afar some of the time, as well as his production role. In other words, there are going to be new albums that are going to be made. He's building a new studio. He's working on a new P-Funk All-Stars album. So and we just put out the newest Parliament album very recently. So he shows no real signs of slowing down other than this retiring from the road. But his actual involvement in the thing is not going to be too much different other than that fact. So. Right.
Okay, yeah, because I came into the fold maybe going on 10 years now. Holy shit. Wow. I feel old now, but yeah, and then I remember the whole idea, because that was back during the time when they were still knee deep in the legal stuff, trying to get the old records back, and I know because George is one of those guys that could see 100 years into the future, and the plan always was to pass the torch, groom the kids and grandkids and the rest of the people involved, to basically get out there, and so he could kick his feet up a little bit, go behind the scenes, and then kind of run things, get his Quincy Jones on a little bit, if you know what I mean. And so Overton, he calls me, and then one of our epic conversations, it hit me. Every last one of us has a responsibility in making sure that this thing carries on. The next generation, and then you haven't been, with the crew a little bit longer. I want you to just impart
a little bit of what that really means, you know, for the next generation. Like, as funksters, whether we're directly associated with George and the band, or if you're just funky people, like we have so many running around here in the South. As funksters, like, what is our responsibility to the next generation of funk?
Right. That's a really good question. Well, yeah, I've been on the road playing keys for George almost 16 years now. And I've worked for him in some capacity for about 20 years. Wow. I was about 17 years old, even before I went to college. And I think one thing that has been imparted to me most strongly in the spirit of this group and what it means to keep the group going is that spirit of interdependence. Mm-hmm. Every band member, like what you were saying, Overton said, every member of the band, the crew, the staff, management, the artists, the dancers, everybody involved in the making of such an effort relies very heavily on one another. It's very cyclical and reciprocal, and there is a sort of natural cycle that allows things to remain on an even keel, or some kind of keel, some kind of way that it continues on. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the constituent members, George included, relying and helping one another in ways that we don't necessarily think of, but are very evident and important. Whether that's playing on stage in unison, working together as a band, working together in the studio, writing songs together, or even just the general hang, because I think a lot of people don't realize that the hang is one of the biggest parts of being out here on this road. You know, I think you're playing maybe 2.5, 3 hours a day, and the other, 22 hours or 21 hours or whatever it is, you really have to enjoy the company of the people you're with. And most of these people have known each other for decades and decades. So I mean, there's a camaraderie and a love and a family, and like all families, there's good and bad. But what keeps it together, what keeps it going, I think, is the fact that it is such an institution and that it relies on that spirit of interdependence. George is the clear leader. He's the clear figurehead and the front man, and he's the guy, but he'll be the first one to tell you that without the spirit of interdependence, there's really no group, because it is about the group in general, everybody, not one person, not these two people, not this guy, not that girl. It's everybody. It's the group and the name and the legacy that carries forth with it. And I think with fans, like you mentioned, there are so many fans all over the world, including in the South where you are. I think that the role of the fans is to keep doing what they have been doing. I think much like, again, to make the connection to comic books and to Star Wars and things like that, the fans of those things kept the thing going at times when it needed the fans. So the fans are part of that interdependence too. And I don't just mean coming to shows, although that's a great help, obviously, coming to shows and buying albums and things. But I mean even creating their own, like the fan magazines and like videos and pictures and things that depict the funk mob in different ways on the road and on the album. And like, I've seen this really great artwork online. I don't know who drew it. It was fantastic. It was like all sci-fi. That was a bunch of aliens on stage and like really crazy looking, like aliens, and and they're playing instruments, and it said Funkadelic in the year 3000.
Wow.
And there's something like so
dope,
telling about that, you know what I mean? Because it's like, well, there's a few things about it. One of them is the spirit of fandom. There's a fan that made it, you know what I mean? It's not something that came out of the camp.
Right.
And what the fan is trying to convey is something that maybe we haven't even conveyed as well. Like, I try to drive the point home, both to fellow band members and also to fans, that this thing is older than most people realize. There's more albums and singles and songs than any other production unit in the history of music, period. It's something like 500 plus albums over a period of 60-something years. There's no precedent. There's no parallel. There's nothing like it, And I think that a big part of that comes from the love of the fans and the support and the demand that they have. I think the more demanding your fans are, I think the better the overall input is, or output, I should say. So, and input, because it goes both ways. So like I said, the spirit of that interdependence also goes between the fans and the band itself.
Well, yeah, and then I don't think unless you've been around George. People don't realize that he is a master of kind of getting out of the way and letting things happen. Like just letting the room do what it does, letting people be who they are. Like instead of, like ruling with an iron fist. Like a lot of people assume leadership is that you're standing up here on this box pointing to everybody what you need to do and bossing around. Right. But he has his way of kind of curating things and saying, oh, this is what you got going on or whatever. Let's see how we can work that into the overall. And then and I think that's a superpower, man. Like that's the most awesome
superpower. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think using curating is the best word for it too. I think he produces even on stage. You know what I mean? Even when he's on stage, he's producing. So he still has that iron fist, but he chooses how he chooses to use it and how he chooses to wield it is much different than the other leader I've seen. And that being said, he is very much your typical leader. He's a Leo. He is that type of guy. Yeah. He is the guy that everybody gravitates towards. But I think a lot of the things that people try to understand about George are the things that they can't, like, what they can't understand about him is his greatest power, if that makes any sense.
Right.
His magnetism, his presence, his vibe in general is something that can't really replace. You know what I mean? So it's he's got an aura all his own that has been extremely influential in the world of popular music over the past 50, 60 years. And his presence on stage and his ability to command a stage, yes, is part and parcel to both his great abilities as a leader and secondarily his great abilities as someone who allows great talent to shine, but in the best possible way. So it's not like he's just letting, as a guy who was a very young musician when I came in, he's not so much telling you can do whatever you want. And he's definitely not saying it to everybody. He's more so finding the best way to sort of connect that musical expression in the strongest possible, most progressive way for that person. And that person is able to give their all in a way that maybe they wouldn't have been able to, even if they were by themselves. Everybody always likes to say, oh, it was better when I did it by myself or whatever. This is one of those cases where it's not true. No. And it goes back to the interdependence, it goes back to the band, but it's like I've been able to really find myself as a musician because of the way he has implemented my role and my positioning and implemented my ability to grow and change and get better. So that's sort of his power to me,
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, like being able to be around and kind of see that, you start to kind of adopt that because like anytime I would leave from there, I'd come back home here to Macon, Georgia, and where people aren't exposed to mentors like that, and then kind of step into that role, and it doesn't hit you until after you've been doing it for a little while. Like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's very true. It's very, very true. Sometimes not until after it's all over, you're like, oh wow, that's what that was.
Right.
It's definitely a powerful thing.
Awesome sauce, man. Well, dude, you have been fan-fucking-tastic. I don't know why it took us so long to do it, but I trust the master plan, man, how things come together in this universe from Earth to Venus and across the stars, you know what I mean? And you're welcome anytime, man. You guys check out, like, keep your eyes open for Sons of the Sun when it comes out. I'm excited about that. Pop on over. Tell them how they can get to your podcast.
Yeah, sure. They can check out DannyOnEverything.com. And it also broadcasts on Fridays and Sundays on an internet station called Moose Magnificat. You can just find the Moose. You can download the app, Moose Radio. And it airs on Friday nights at 5:30 and Sunday afternoons at 1 p.m. But then you can always check out the archive. The archive is DannyOnEverything.com. It's got all the episodes. You can go check out anyone. We interviewed George. We interviewed various members of the band. We've interviewed a whole bunch of different people from television and film and all kinds of different kinds of professors and all kinds of great people. So it's you can get all that information there. And then you can go to DannyBedrosian.com and check out my music and check out how you can order the comic book. We're already allowing people to do pre-orders through the PayPal and that kind of thing. And so, yeah.
Okay.
Check it out.
Yeah, I'll post some links up on the site so the listeners can grab that. And thank you, so eternally grateful, bro. Hope to see you soon. Where you guys headed out to next?
Oh, we're in Iowa right now.
You're in Iowa, okay.
Here in about 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
And then we're moving on our way down to Illinois, and then Memphis, and then back out to LA.
Okay, dope. All right, yeah, we'll tell everybody I said hello and I love them. And hey, man, until next time, stay funky, bro.
Yes, you too, Steven. Thank you, brother.
All right.
All right, so we're going to stop right here. The atmosphere here in Venus is pretty damn corrosive, so let me hurry up and get back to Earth, make sure these pirates haven't looted my dojo radio station. All right, but yo, if you're in the Macon, Georgia area, make sure you join us for Tai Chi. It's free. Lower Poplar Park in Macon, that's downtown near the intersection of Poplar Street and MLK, every Wednesday at 6:30. We got that going on. Let me go see what's going on with J-Win, and peace be with you, my ninjas. Whoa.